Not gonna work. But I'm serious. I'm serious, man. I'm going through this existential crisis right now. And I want to believe in Jesus. God, if you're listening, please help me to understand. Help me to believe. I try to sound serious. I am being serious. I mean, I can't be serious when I'm asking God for anything because I just don't think that's real. So, but I'm trying. I'm trying. How do I... Karen, what's going on? How y'all doing? I want to be like everybody else, Karen. I want to believe in Jesus. I want to be a good Christian. I want to support Israel. And I want to vote for whatever president I'm supposed to vote for. And call me Todd. Hi, I'm Todd. Like when you give your kid a name like mine, and they're already not going to fit in just off the bat, you can't be mad when they don't fit in. I should have just told everybody my name was G Money. Call me G Money. my wife's friend, his name Gary, he used to tell people that was his name, G Money. He was such a dork. He was such a dork. Life be crazy. I think we need more than a pill for that. I just want it, whatever it is. I want it. I want to stop being this person. I want to stop being this person who gives a shit. Like, it's such a weird thing to say. But, you know, I'm sick of caring about an entire population that doesn't care about me or themselves. They think they do. They're actually very low-level selfish. But for the most part, you know, you're too stupid to understand true selfishness and the benefits of true selfishness. So you end up being low-level, selfish, arrogant, and stupid. And I want to be like that. How do I be more like you? Not Karen, but you. Average, everyday goyim who doesn't even know that they're goyim. How does someone like me forget everything? At the same time, how does our consciousness, how does our collective societal consciousness forget where we are right now? Belch. You know, how do we ever go back to not protesting Israel? I mean, it seems like, you know, the goal was reached all those years back, and being the pebbles that start the avalanche. And maybe not, you know, not going to get credit for it. Not going to be this, not going to be that. But if you're in the truther realm and you've been here for years, there's a good chance that you came across something of mine, especially if you were in that world, say, like 2020, when I was allowed to have lots and lots of views, or, you know, Charlie Kirk on YouTube. You know, there are thousands and thousands of people who stumbled across my feed, heard what I was saying, was aghast. You're not allowed to say that. He's got to be wrong. I can't take this. Ran away, and now they're seeing it play out in front of them. They have to know. This is all just so weird. And again, like, I want to be Christian, so I need your help. There's two people here. I guess one's Karen and one's some dumbass. It'd be a lot different, that's for sure. Don't think there's anything going to reset that. Going to reset what? I mean, without a doubt, shit is going to change. Even according to the fake narrative they give us, the 30s are a huge point of change in every 100 years. Not saying I believe that narrative, but there's a reason why they prep us for it. But if you're right and you're saying nothing nothing is going to change the way it is, okay, I don't want to be this anymore. I don't want to be the guy that sees, you know, the pictures of the extremely emaciated children that are purposefully being starved, and I, you know, I guess not give a shit. I don't know. I don't know what you I don't know what all of you think. I know when I see it, I don't think, oh, well, that's not my family or friends, so I don't care. I think, like, oh my God, this is atrocious. How do we prevent this from happening to anyone else? You know, that's my mindset. So how do I eliminate that mindset? You know, I've been here before. I had this crisis before. And it's not fun. Because I know that there's no, and maybe that's what you were saying, Karen, is there's nothing that's going to be able to reset me back to stupid. And that's, like, kind of miserable. Like, what a miserable feeling that is. Knowing that I'm going to forever see what's wrong, need to do something about it, and not be able to. That's a really awful feeling. Yep. I don't know, man. But I want to. You know, how come I can't have one of those born again moments where people, ha da 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 da, and they suddenly, I was like you, and then I did blah blah blah, and now I'm a Christian, because people have said that to me many, many times, right? The joy of knowledge, huh? Yeah. I always say that the more you know, the dumber you are. When you start talking about big bangs and stuff like that, you don't realize how stupid you sound. Like, you think you sound smart because you know details. But what you're talking about is fucking stupid. It's laughably stupid. The gravity is pushing down, and then the singularity explodes, and it's so dumb. While at the same time, God just hanging out being like, man, I sure need people to worship me. Like, it's just as dumb. Jesus dying for our sins. Well, who was collecting? Who was the person muscling up God and being like, hey, you better send your kid down there to die? And God was like, okay. Oh, sorry, they sinned too much. I'm sorry. I thought I paid my sin bill this week. Nah, you're late. You're overdue. 3 months overdue. Somebody's got to die, and it better be your kid. Like, it's silly. And you know, you can get mad at me for how I say it, but the gist of what I'm saying is true. At least it's what you believe to be true. And those are the two options I'm stuck with. You don't want to be crazy, right? You don't want to be ostracized, right? Well, here's your two choices. Pick one. Now, the one choice, there's actually a lot of other choices that come from that. So if you're going to go with the God side, well, then you can pick from a number of different choices that are all basically the same, but called different. You're going to be a Christian. You're going to be a Episcopalian. You're going to be a Lutheran. You're going to be a Protestant. Which one do you want to be? Well, thing is, my mama, well, she was this one because her grandmama was that one and told her mama to be that, and then her mama told my mama to do it. Or her mama told my mama to do it, and then my mama, she told me to do it. So that's how I picked this one. Oh yeah, I speak in tongues too. It's so good. And the thing is, I'm supposed to go, okay, to be accepted, to be allowed to point out what's wrong, because Ian Carroll says way more than I do. Ian Carroll is way more dangerous than I am. Hey, buddy. Why is Ian Carroll allowed to say way more than me? Give out names. Give out maps. Here, follow this trail that goes from here to here to here. Here, look. They're Zionists. Zionists. Oh, it's the Zionists. Only 2 people here. Yep. That's how that works now. Because the guy that's been nothing but right for the last fucking, 15 fucking years, where demonstratively I have been right, I've been saying, oh, you can't say those things kind of things, only for that shit to come true. So then my feed should be huge. There should be all sorts of people here that are, on the same page, or they heard me say it and they thought I was crazy, but now with the way everything's going out, they're like, holy shit, you were right. Like, that should be the way it is. What's up, open-minded? Thornton and Grooms. Smells like brakes out here. Smells like clutch out here. It's a fucking weird smell. And it's kind of gotten like foggy all of a sudden. What the fuck is that? Watch me just fall out and shit. Seriously, it stinks out here. Suddenly. It's weird. Like I said, there should be a movement happening here. And the thing about this movement is nothing is set in stone. Yeah, that was in the road. Sure somebody'd like to drive over that. Nothing is set in stone as far as this movement goes. However it needs to change or manipulated or whatever, however things need to go to ensure that everyone lives the best, happiest, safest, healthiest lives that they can live, that's how this movement is going to go. There's no ideology here. There's no tradition here. We're going forward, not relying on the past. Looking like winter with you two is freezing here. Is weed legal where you are? Yes. Yes, it is. You should have been by, oh. Weather so cold, I hate it. -2 Celsius yesterday here in the UK. So that's like, it's like 20 degrees or some shit, right? 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I always worry about winter time because, you know, if they start dropping the hammer in the spring or in the summer, we can survive. The winter time, you know, it's too cold. People can't just survive here in the winter. It's really scary. You know, if they start fucking dropping the hammer, what are we gonna do? No. Nobody has a garden growing to supply them with, you know, basic sustenance if necessary. It's terrifying that we even have to think along these lines. It's 2025. I shouldn't be worried about these things. I shouldn't be worried about my government's corruption and loyalties to other countries. And I mean, the idea of other countries is fucking stupid. You know, I get so sick of Americans, truther Americans, talking about how America needs to do best by America, blah, 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 blah. No, we need to do the best by the world. You know, just because some other people were brainwashed by their version of society into being Muslims or whatever it may be, doesn't make them your enemy. They've just been tricked. At the end of the day, they want the same things you want. I'd love to see a world without borders. Wouldn't it be nice? Without fake bullshit. Because it's fake. Israel doesn't actually exist. Israel is a construct. It's an idea. They tell you that the invisible line for Israel goes right there, and you go, I don't see it. And they go, it's right there. And you go here, and they go, no, a little bit further. And you go, okay. Now, yes. And you go, okay, that's the border for Israel. It's all just fake bullshit. The President of the United States. You want to talk about a fake fucking thing? He literally has he has speech writers. One of his top advisors is Linda McMahon, someone who specializes in manipulating people, showing them a fake reality. Like, this is this is a joke. With everything you see from the president, when do you think he's actually, like, working? When do you think he's sitting behind his desk, crunching numbers, going through different pamphlets and different emails and, you know, when do you think that's happening? He plays a lot of golf. He's literally traveling all the time and having meetings here and talking to this person and that person. Huh? She's a propagandist. Who? He's golfing. She's a who's the she? If there's somebody that we both know, right? If they're on TV and we both know who they are, or any large number of people know, they're not there by accident. No one is in government by accident. You know, people say that, like, you know, they bring these people in and then they blackmail them with this and that. You can only be blackmailed with children if you're willing to fuck with children. Meaning they knew you had that proclivity before you were allowed to have the position you were given. Don't you get it? They don't let elections, like we don't pick who the person is. Especially when it comes to the leader. And if you still believe in the power of elections after 2016, I just don't even know what to say to you. They flat out told us that the popular vote just didn't matter. And even though overwhelmingly, because Trump loves Trump won the election by a landslide, and yet 97% of the news stories are negative Trump. They should lose their license. He doesn't talk about 2016, where he lost the election by a landslide by 2.7 million votes. That's a lot of fucking people. No matter how they want to spin it, 2.7 million people is a lot of people. And he lost by 2.7 million votes. Hillary won by 2.7 million votes. As awful as she was. And they just were like, yeah, sorry, you guys didn't pick the right one. And Hillary was like, yeah, you guys were supposed to pick him. I'll see you later. She put up zero fight whatsoever. I think the world we live in is so dark now. I don't want to get a job. I don't want to live here. People are so rude. And it's not just the people. It's because of what the government is doing. It's because the people are being subjected to such an awful reality. And because we are such capable, you know, adjusters, we can maneuver and whatnot and adapt to situations really well. People are adapting. You're shown horrendous shit and then told you're supposed to support it. If you don't support this, you're a terrorist and you're all these horrible things. And you're going, yeah, but you're killing children. What the fuck? I'm supposed to support killing children? Yes. Okay. Like that's going to fuck with anybody. The world can be beautiful. I think the world is amazing. I think life is amazing. I don't take it for granted at all. I don't believe in an afterlife and a heaven and all this other bullshit. So my life as it is very awesome and special, and I want the best that I can have in this life. There's no second chance. There's no, redo, whatever, the reincarnation kind of bullshit. I don't give a fuck. If there is reincarnation, we don't know. I feel the same. I have major depression. You're supposed to. But get this right. You're not depressed. That's why all that depression medication doesn't work. Because you're all being falsely diagnosed as depressed. When you're not depressed, you're angry. They tell you you're not supposed to hate things. Well, if you don't hate, how can you love? These are just words. Hate is a click and a whistle that we make in English that describes a huge range of emotions. People hate pedophiles and people hate broccoli. Those are that's two completely different emotions there, but they get lumped into the one. And the same thing with love. Love is just this 4-letter word that, this click that we all agree means this huge range of shit. And if you don't speak our clicks and whistles, if you speak a different form of clicks and whistles, you don't know what those words mean. They're not universal words. And that's we have to understand that, right? Like, it'd be something with nature because that's what I love. Yeah, that's, you don't get to pick that. I mean, you do, but you don't. When you're starting out, when you're trying to figure things out, unless you've done right and played the game while you were in school and followed do I want my kids to follow my footsteps? Fuck no. It'd have been one thing if it would have led to some sort of success. But the reality is, I don't want them fighting this fight. I want them to do, if I could push them into Jesus, I would. But that would create too much division, and I couldn't pull it off. But I don't want my kids fighting this fight. And so you gotta play the game. You gotta do well in school so that you can get the good job, so that you can be comfortable and happy. But like I say, you're not depressed. The friar system that has all the friar psychologists, friar doctors, friar pharmacists, friar pharmaceutical manufacturers, it's all a friar, control scheme gig where one piece feeds the next piece, feeds the next piece, feeds the next piece. And so, you go see your family doctor, who then says, oh, you have this going on? Well, here, let me give you a referral so you can go see a specialist. So then you go see the specialist, and the specialist then writes you the prescription that you then take to the pharmacist, who fills the prescription with the pharmaceuticals that were delivered to him, and they fuck you all up. They're so nutso. They're so crazy. I went through it with my wife. After she was assaulted, she got real depressed. And nothing was working. And she wasn't depressed, she was pissed. Because she did everything she was supposed to do, and the system failed her. I have one watcher, one viewer. All you commenting are just one viewer. But my wife, she became such a zombie off all this shit. You guys have seen me go up and down my stairs before. One night, wake up in the middle of the night, because at this point I was so scared for her, because she had already done, she was already this zombie, and I was already on edge. I always worried that she was going to be hurt or something was going to happen. So she wakes up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I wake up and I'm like, you all right? She's like, yeah, go in the bathroom. So she goes over to where the banister is in her zombie sleep state. I guess she thinks it's like a laundry basket and goes to climb over it. And as she goes to climb over the banister, suddenly I hear this boom. And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like 3 a.m. and I jump up and I go running down the stairs, and she's sitting at the bottom of the stairs. She's fallen 15 feet. I don't know how she's alive and not totally fucked up from it. She got a little bit hurt from it. Her cheerleading days kicked in, and she braced herself, I guess. I don't know how it happened. I really don't. I know if she would have went over that banister and tilted even slightly and fell on her head, broke her neck, whatever it would have been, I'd be in prison to this day. They would have locked me away. I wouldn't have had the lawyer to pay for it. And they would have blamed it on me, said I pushed her over the banister. Who's going to believe that she fucking climbed over the banister herself because she was on these psychotropic drugs? Nobody's going to believe that story. Is this what happened over the banister? Yes. I gave up weed 3 months ago. I don't feel any better for doing it. I was a daily smoker from 17 until just before my 35th birthday. Why'd you give it up? I've been sad since I was homeless at 18, now 35, and things have gotten worse. I left all my friends behind 4 years ago because everyone takes advantage of my kindness. Gotta get that shit out. That's why I'm an artist. I let out my depression. Again, it's not depression. Depression is to me, it's anger, and it's because we don't have an outlet for anger. You don't get to be angry. Everybody tells you you're not allowed to be angry. You're not allowed to feel those feelings. You shouldn't feel hatred. And so you, especially if you're a Christian, you grew up in that Christianity bullshit, you're fucking furious. You know? I followed the majority of the rules. I gave my money. I prayed. Why is this happening? Why is this all so bad? Why do the people that I know are much worse than I am keep getting, favor? She's fine. She actually, when she sort of came out of it, she was like, oh, fuck this. That's it. I'm done. And she quit cold turkey. She called the doctors the next day and was like, I'm never taking another one of your fucking pills again. Don't even try it. And they were like, you shouldn't just quit cold turkey. That's dangerous. And she was like, fuck you. It's actually just amazing. Were the embraced, I've been floppy. By being floppy and unbraced, she would have been what saved. I think, maybe. Who knows? All right, so it goes into your sadness because there's absolutely no way, especially as an adult. Right. That's what it is like you've almost realized that, like, by the time you're an adult, nobody's willing to help you anymore. Everybody seems to think that by 18 years old, you should be so well adjusted and so, like, you don't even, at 18, my beard didn't even grow in all the way. I didn't have chest hairs and shit. Yet I was supposed to have figured out what the fuck I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And for me, on the surface, you would have thought things were good because we lived in a nice neighborhood. We had a nice apartment. I had nice things. But underneath that was an alcoholic who was severe and who would do crazy shit and who would, tell me things that no parent should be telling their child. And, like, I needed to get out of that environment before I could even begin to sort of heal and grow up. And so, no, I didn't hit the ground at 18 running. It was hard. I was taught to drink. Something good happens, drink. Something bad happens, drink. You're bored, drink. That's what we did. We drank a lot those first few years. Me and my friends. A lot. That D, even getting the Dewey didn't stop it. Because that was the programming. The programming was there. My family thinks I don't want to help myself by not taking the meds from the doctors. This is a hard topic. Because there are people that have deficiencies. And there are medications that can help people. And there's a difference between something fucked up's happened to you and, your brain has sort of gotten knocked off a little bit, as opposed to maybe you have some sort of deficiency. And when you have a deficiency, sometimes they can really help you. I don't know how to reach that thing. This is where, again, It comes down to the Goyim have to overthrow the friars that control our system, because clearly the situation as it is no good. They're lying to us. It's making things worse. Every single one of those depression medications gives you a laundry list of side effects, one being this might make you want to kill yourself. And that shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't have to risk my I want to get better and I want to be better, so I got to risk taking something that's going to make me want to kill myself even more? What kind of crazy, where's that trade-off? So I get the trepidation, I get the hesitation. But at the same time, dude, is it going to make your life better? Is it going to make you function in ways that you see how other people function and you know that you're not functioning that way? There are sort of just not conspiracy things, just sort of regular things that you see how regular people live their lives, and they seem to be able to function in this way and you can't. Like taking showers and shit. Do you find it so that you don't want to take showers? Well, that's a different thing, right? No, in truth, when I used to take my meds, it used to make me worse. Well-adjusted at 18 tends to come from well-adjusted family and reality. I think there are very few people that are well-adjusted at 18. You might be on the right path. You might be getting that way, but to think about who I was at 18, who I was with at 18, holy shit. Imagine if I would have just married that girl. That was the girl, or she got pregnant, so that was, that's just a nightmare. That is such a nightmare. I've never taken meds from the doctors for depression, but my family used that against me instead of supporting me. Yeah, but does your family... your family loves you. Your family wants you to be the best you can be. And there's a difference between the conspiracy stuff and everyday life stuff. And if you're struggling with everyday life stuff, well, that's a different story, man. When did you stop the alcohol completely? I cannot stomach it at all these days. Yeah, the 3-day hangovers suck, but the last time I got drunk was, even had alcohol, because I don't even drink it at all. I think it was before, it was shortly before I got hurt. So it's been at least 10 years. And even before that, I didn't drink very often. Once married, and I never wanted my kids to see me drunk. Drunk is such an ugly thing. Ugly, sloppy, stupid, So I never wanted my kids to see me drunk. So them existing, when Nick was really little, I still would drink beers. But even as a little kid, how you let your kid have a sip, Nick wasn't like, ugh. Nick was like, And I was like, oh shit, can't feed into this. I don't want this kid to see me drinking and think drinking is okay and think alcohol is a part of life and celebrations. And you just have a couple drinks with dinner, because he clearly has a taste for it. As a baby, he had a taste for it. So, yeah, we had to stay away from that shit. I never liked alcohol, but I only drank to be social. No, alcohol is disgusting. Alcohol is gross. It doesn't taste good. That's why you drink shots and you go and you chase it real quick, because it's gross. I drink not just to be social, but because of insecurities. You know, I definitely, when it came down to broads, I didn't want to bust too fast. You know, it's not like it's looked at as some sort of compliment. Like, I think you're really hot. And this entire time that we've been together, I've had this boner rubbing up against my pants and shit. And then we've just been fooling around foreplaying for the last hour like you do when you first get with someone. And I'm just ready to pop. And then you feel so amazing and your noises and all that so amazing. Sorry, I popped early. Like, that was, it wasn't like chicks were like, oh, thank you very much. Here, let's wait 10 minutes and do it again. It was more like you didn't want to be that guy. Don't want no minute, man. How'd that short, that song go? Missy Elliott, the Minute Man? I don't remember. But that shit's a compliment, right? Like if a guy's having sex with a girl and she comes a minute into it, he's gonna be like, all right, you know, that's a good thing. Look what I did. Chicks, you have it so easy. You just got to do what you do. We got to sit there and prop ourselves up and be good at it. We have to be good. You don't have to be good. You can literally just lay there and some guys will take it, you know, yay, I'm at least getting some. If you're just laying there, there's a problem. But, you know, but that was my thing is just complete insecurity. And then when I would drink, you know, the confidence would match the person, you know. Whereas everybody else would look at me and be like, you're the man. And I'd be like, oh, no, no, no. As soon as I'd drink, I'd be like, you're damn right I am. Let's see. Last time I drank was in April, the day before. The day me and my ex broke up. Feel like depression has been worse since then. Listen, I can tell you this, okay? This is the greatest piece of advice you can get. No good relationship comes to an end. Think about that. It wasn't like you guys were like, man, things are just so good. We just like each other so much. There's so much mutual respect and attraction and all this stuff. This relationship is just working out so well. We're going to end it. That literally never happens. Bad relationships end. And they have to be pretty bad to end. Because most people, especially if you've already put a lot into it, you're not going to be willing to just drop a relationship because, you know, because something stupid happened. So being depressed over a bad relationship coming to an end is foolish. It's just foolish, man. And just think about what you would say to other people. If it's anybody else, you'd be like, yeah, dude, just get over it. It's okay. It was bad. You know, and you don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you, that feels bad. Or if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. Why would you ever want to be with someone that you've had to guilt into being with you? That's afraid to leave you because they think you'll fucking do something. You think that person's attracted to you? To you? No. I'm getting some weed later. I shouldn't say this, but I've been going through a ton of shit. And I recently came into drugs. If you can guess, it's an upper with a name of C. Well, that's really dangerous. And you definitely shouldn't be saying that shit on my feed. Delete your comment now. What's wrong with you? You know, I'm not a fan of that. I don't know what to tell you to do on that one. You know, you got to make your own decisions on that one. You know, do whatever's safest for you and the people that you care about. Sometimes, you know, you gotta, you might have to let something go. You know, because the last thing you want is to distribute that in any sort of way and fuck somebody else's shit up. And I know you can justify it to yourself by saying, well, if I don't, they'll just get it from somebody else. Yeah, maybe. Maybe your shit's got some fentanyl in it or some shit. Who knows? But I when it comes to all that hard shit, man, it's just not worth it. And that's hard to say because, TV loves showing you movies like Blow. Showing you these movies where these guys are making it. And they always seem to get busted just before that one last time. So if you just tell yourself, well, I won't do that one last time thing. I don't know, it's crazy. And so now I'm going back to weed to get off this shit. I was a stressful relationship, was jaded and constantly gets angry over everything, silent treatment and everything. So why would you ever miss that? Other than your mom. Obviously, your mom was very similar and probably very similar to your dad. She treated your dad that way, and that's how you saw that shit grow up. And you think, there's that dumb kid in you that thinks, well, if you were to just do this or do that, then things would be better. Here, I'll prove it to you. I'll get myself in the same situation, and then I'll do the right thing and show you, Mom and Dad, I'll fix you guys by fixing this broad. And instead of, that happening, you get yourself in that position and you have a better understanding of what your parents went through because you go, oh, this is fucking crazy. Okay. And I know a lot of us don't want to look at our moms like our moms are crazy girls, but your mom's probably a crazy girl. She was raised in a fucked up environment. Where she was told to shoulder pads and tons of makeup and, women are second class and just all of it, all of what women have gone through for the last, especially in the last 100 years or so, at least according to the narrative. It's fucked up, especially the last 50 years. Just fucked up how, they've been made to feel guilty for wanting to be a housewife. There's something wrong with being a housewife. You're not a real person unless you have a slave job. But you have to forgive your parents. You have to get over that shit. You have to realize your mom was a crazy girl. Your dad was just some dumb dude. They're special to you because they're your parents, but they're just dumb people. And you don't want anything to do with that. I know that when my mom died, it was the shit that the connection, the dysfunctional connection relationship-wise that I just had died with her. And so the shit that my wife, that I found before my mom died and before I figured this stuff out, there are things that my wife does that are similar to my mom. And prior to, they would stimulate the dysfunctional nature in my head, the unseen shit that would attract me to her because it reminded me of, But when my mom died, that shit died too. So now it's those things that used to sort of be there unspoken underneath, they're not there anymore. And it's come on, we just got to move past this. Let's move. I don't want to not be with my wife. I want to be with my wife. I want her to put her bullshit down. I was really, really hoping that when her mom died, her bullshit would go with it, but it didn't. And it's a choice, and it's a hard choice. Yeah, I grew up around domestic violence. Right, so you don't know how to be in a good relationship. Because it's not TV. TV is impossible. But, you saw horrible things being in domestic violence situations. My mom was called the whore at 5 years old by her own father and her nanny and some shithead to explain it. Funny enough, one day while shopping in a supermarket together, she said randomly out of nowhere that her own mother told her she was an angry person. I didn't say anything. I don't know what to say there. Okay. Introduction of women in the workplace, etc. has a lot to answer for. The whole thing. I mean, just look at women going to the grocery store, because that's what women do, and then standing in the line at the checkout and seeing all these magazines. They're like, you're too fat. Do you not have this house? Then you suck. Does your man do this? Well, then your man sucks. All these magazines is picking apart every little piece of them. What the reality in which women have grown up in is atrocious, but it has to be that way because they know the truth. They know that the women are the key to all of it. Because men follow their women. They tried to enforce and instill this idea that the man is the man of the house, and you see all these father knows best kind of TV shows and this way that the world supposedly worked, but it was a very short time. Because we all fucking, we love our mothers and we respect women. And we're constantly taught not to respect women, but that goes against our nature. That's why it's so fucked up. Men have it so fucked up too. Don't get it twisted. Men don't have it very easy at all. What it takes to be a man, you're supposed to like cars and you're supposed to like whores. You mean you don't like looking at Hustler magazine where the chick is fucking spreading her pussy out as wide as she can and the camera's right there? Oh, you must be gay. I don't want to see anybody's fucking crevices. That's gross. But you're not told that it's okay for you to think that way. I don't want to look at your butthole. It's your butthole. Like, okay, I'd rather look at you in the face and make that connection with you and kiss and all that stuff. Your butthole? I don't want to look at your butthole. I've got a bad frozen left shoulder, and 6 weeks after my breakup, my shoulder started to feel much better. Constant worry and stress made my body tense up without realizing. Yeah, that sounds awful, dude. You shouldn't be depressed about that at all. You should be thrilled that you got out of that situation. And until you realize that, what you're going to do is find yourself another situation that treats you the same way, because for some reason you're missing that. Because you want to be, you grew up in domestic violence, meaning as horrible as it is, it's comfortable for you. Right? So what you've done is you found yourselves a bunch of chicks that will be in domestic violence situations. Maybe because of what you've seen, you're so against it. I'm never going to do that. That's fucked up, right? So you're still attracted to a domestic violence type of broad. Because trust me, most broads that get beat up in relationships, they're not like, the guy came home from work and she's like, honey, I made this dinner for you and I was planning on sucking your dick later. And he's like, bitch, psh, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. That's not how that shit works. Those are the chicks that are in the dude's face. Fuck you, motherfucker. You're nothing, motherfucker. You got a tiny dick, motherfucker, motherfucker. That's why that chick gets beat in every relationship she's in. It's not because she's a victim. It's because she's the agitator. And part of that is this notion that we're equal. We're not equal. We might be equal mentally, but we're not equal physically. As a female, you have no business getting in a dude's face. You have no business acting like a man, but expecting to be treated like a female. Hypertension and stress is a killer. You've got to break those generational curses. Exactly. So for you, you have to realize, like, I don't want to be attracted to domestic violence. And part of it comes with, instead of seeing your mom, she's my mommy. I love my mommy so much. No, she's Susie. She's Karen. She's fucking Tammy. She's whoever. If you go outside in front of your house and you look up and down your street, do you care about any other woman like that? Do you even know who those women are? No, it's just the broad down the street. Your mom is just the broad down the street for somebody else. And you love her to the moon and back. But you realize she's not special. There's nothing special about her. There's nothing special about you or your existence. Some fucking happened and you're born. And your mom has all of these fucked up issues. And there's nothing you can do about it because she's just a dumb girl. You can't do anything about it. So accept her as the dumb girl she is and don't find you one. My mom had multiple boyfriends, had domestic violence of all of them. My earliest memory is crying about it, and I don't remember anything before the age of 7. Yeah, that's fucked up. It's fucked up. The thing is, you do remember shit before the age of 7. You just blocked it out. It's there, though. It's going to resurface one day if you're not careful. But like I say, like, that's a horrible situation. And the fucked up part is, because that's all you know, you're not comfortable in a situation where a girl is going to treat you nice. She's going to treat you well. She's not going to get in your face. She's not going to be manipulative. She's not going to be controlling. She's not going to... You're not comfortable in that. That's not what you know. What reminds you of home and the womb and mother and all that is chaos. And so part of it is realizing it. Because when you realize it, you feel stupid. And you go, I don't want to feel stupid anymore. And it's going to take time, because the reality is, if you were to line up 10 chicks against the wall, and you were going to get to take your pick of any one of those chicks, you get to go out with them and blah, blah, blah. You're going to pick the one that has domestic violence issues. Because of your subconscious bullshit that picks up on something, a smell, a nuance of some sort. That if out of 10 of those girls, only one of them has domestic violence issues, you would pick that one in a blind, just based off of whatever. And that has to slowly chip away. You have to go out with girls like that, and instead of seeing those behaviors and recognizing them and being like, hey, that's kind of familiar. Oh, I like this. When you recognize the familiar, you go, oh, see ya, you got to go. And as soon as you start cutting those cords, you won't be attracted to it anymore. But it took what, 20-something years to get you where you are today? It's going to take a few years to get you out of where you are today. Don't be in any hurry. You've got lots of time. Then you're going to start thinking, why is she acting so nice? Why is she all like this? What is she doing that's wrong? Is she cheating on me? Yeah, you know what a Vietnam veteran said it best. You feel adrenalized by calm when you're in a war situation, but when you're waiting for the battle and anticipation and horror takes over, right? It's just dysfunction. It's the same thing in every situation, because dysfunction is very powerful. But the good thing is, again, you can overcome it. And if you allow yourself to go on other dates, you allow yourself to be hurt again, the chance to be hurt again, because there's always that chance. And being hurt is silly, so you get broken up with. So what? You move on. It wasn't the right one. But the more you cut those cords and you go out with people and you realize, oh, hey, this is one of those situations. And don't be hypersensitive. Obviously you forgive somebody. The key to a successful marriage is being with someone you can fight with. Someone you can disagree with. Because you're going to. And if you can't come back from that shit, if you go all silent treatment and all that, because again, her family, her childhood dynamic is all fucked up too. That's why she picked you. It's sounding pretty toxic. It is, but that's what we're told to do. I mean, we're all told that the most romantic, best thing you can do is marry your high school sweetheart. What? Marry your high school sweetheart, and then you're a Catholic or whatever, and you go get your advice from a virgin who doesn't have any real life, any bills, anything like that. Yet this priest, who's supposedly a virgin, is telling you how to deal with your married life, is telling you how to deal with your financial situation. Dude, all your bills are paid, and you've never touched a woman, supposedly. Why would I ever listen to you? My ex used to throw tea at me, shout and swear at me, call me all sorts of horrible names. Also would knock my rolling tray off my lap to the floor when I was trying to roll a cigarette or a joint. So you have to ask yourself, why did you allow yourself to be treated like that? Sounds like you're your mom in the situation. So you took on that role. You're not the abuser, you're going to be the abusee. And there's a part of you that thinks it's either one or the other. And because you don't want to be the abuser, you're willing to be the abusee. You have to understand that most of what you're doing, most of what's guiding you is the kid inside. You're still thinking about things the way a little kid who first experienced these things is thinking about them. Oh, it's my fault. It must be something I'm doing. You still have that little kid driving the car. And when you realize that you're thinking about things from that perspective, it becomes silly and you stop doing it. But you have to acknowledge it first. But again, the day that some broad throws something at you or knocks your tray down, or why is that the last day of the relationship? Why aren't you confident enough in yourself that you deserve better and that you definitely don't deserve that? And you just say, hey, fuck this, I'm out. Or you get the fuck out. There's some good girls out there. Of course there are. But you're all, the reality is, as good as you may be, you still grew up in this very broken society and broken system. So the best you could do is say, yeah, I'm broken, but I'm working on it. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to change. I'm willing to have things pointed out to me by somebody that loves me that I might not necessarily agree with or see, but understand that this person is probably pointing them out because they love me. Like there's a lot to it. My ex would give me the silent treatment for 3 days in a row, which I absolutely hated, made me feel so alone. And she knew that. She knew that. She was a manipulator who figured out the best way to hurt you. And the best way to hurt you wasn't to physically abuse you because secretly that's what you wanted. It was to mentally abuse you, to take away the connection. And when she figured that one out, she ran with it. Well, my exactly right what? Got you're wrong. Can't let you slide. Check out the persecutor, rescuer, victim psychological triangle. Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of different versions of this and all that stuff, but I don't know. It's almost like, I don't know those people. I don't know what their intention was. I don't know why they're so prominent. And if they are, then it's probably because they're pushing something that the system wants pushed. The system doesn't want us to be well-adjusted, responsible, accountable people. The system wants us to be dumb sheep. You're right about your analysis of my life. Of course I am. But it's not an analysis of your life. It's an analysis of life. It's an analysis of dysfunction. You're not special. You're just another example of this same thing. Now, hopefully you take from it what you should and you learn and you like there was a light that just turned on and you went, you're right, I am better than this. What the fuck am I doing? Why am I missing this dumb broad who was so fucking mean to me? And maybe it's because you haven't chosen to talk about it with anybody. A lot of times just talking about it, saying these things out loud makes you be like, wow, I can't believe I'm saying these things out loud. This is stupid. I can't believe I'm doing this. Booted in back, said Karen. And I've always said that this is the thing that I think they're more scared of than anything else. Me calling out friars and all that shit, it's one thing. But, the LeBron James theory kicks in. And the LeBron James theory is that, say I get off this video, phone rings, and it's the people. And the people are, hey, Guy Williams, we've got an offer for you. We've got a deal for you. And I'm like, hang on, I gotta pee. Suki now. So, I get a phone call and they say, we got an opportunity for you. You are going to play LeBron James tomorrow in basketball. One-on-one. Every point you make makes you $10 million and will donate $10 million to your favorite charity. We're also going to punch LeBron James' wife in the face every time you score a point. And this is going to be filmed, and the only thing that is broadcast on every TV station for the next week, it'll be the only thing that people can watch, is the game between you two on replay. And I'm okay. I'm not going to score a single fucking basket. After, once down the court and back, I'm going to be winded. I'm going to be totally out of shape. I'm going to look like a complete jackass. People are going to be mad at me because I couldn't even score one basket so I could bring some money to charity. For the next week, people are going to get it reinforced in their heads that we and them are different. That we can't compete with the king. It's going to make me go into hiding because everybody's going to razz me all the time. And I'm definitely never going to ever touch a basketball again. Now, if instead I get the phone call and they say, Guy, in 6 months, you and two people of your choice are going to play against LeBron James and everything else is the same. Well, now I have 6 months. I have two teammates that I have, and the three of us are now this unit that can figure out plays, that can push each other. Hey, you don't feel like training today? Get up. We got millions of dollars to make. Pushing each other, helping each other. When you sleep in, I'm there to wake you up. When you overeat, I'm there to help you run those calories off. And by the time 6 months rolls around, we're still going to get destroyed by LeBron James. But we will score. We will score multiple times. It will be impossible that we wouldn't score. And if we played more than one game, the more games we actually played, the more chances we would have of beating him. And eventually we would beat him. And everybody that's watching for the next week would see that if Goyim get together and they work hard and they come up with plans and they inspire and push each other, that they can overcome the king. It's the same thing with all of this. If tomorrow the system came out and was like, yeah, we were lying about everything, the Jays were in charge, Christianity's fake, here, things would plunge into chaos because we're not ready for that. We haven't done the training. We haven't come up with the plays. We've been so busy fighting each other and stifling each other that we're not ready for that phone call. And that's what my feed has been this whole time, is preparing for that phone call. Believing that the phone call has happened, and we're just practicing. We're practicing. Trying to get there. What are you talking about? Nothing. I appreciate you opening up, man. Thanks for sharing your stuff. And see, then you have some dumbass that says all you need is Jesus. Yep. Not logic, not reasoning, not overcoming dysfunction and all this. Just Jesus. The problem is, this whole time, you've needed Jesus and you just didn't go get you some. You know how stupid that is? If all we needed was Jesus, which is shoved down our throats, it's on our money, it's in our pledges of allegiance, churches are everywhere. You get all your athletes always acting like Christianity is somehow being oppressed, so they got to be, first of all thanks goes to God and my Lord and Savior, because God wanted me to win the football game and not the other team. Stop thinking you could solve all this. You can't. But you get a following and a revolution going. No, people wouldn't believe. Like, this is so stupid. Stop believing you can fix problems. Just go get the Bible, Goyim. Goyim, all you need is the Bible, Goyim. Don't try to figure your way through this. Don't try to help other people get through things. Just go get the Bible. The Bible. That's all you need. Needing Jesus and getting mad and taking up the comment section. Yeah, I'm going to take advice from... Exactly. Same Christians all the time. They're always the same. They're just as dumb as it gets. It's not shit. Yeah. Look at this dumb shit, man. Let's see. Is this... Joined 4 years ago, has 2 subscribers. You know, the same dumb Christians it always is. They can't answer any questions. They're as hypocritical as it can be. You know, they're stupid. They're really just stupid. Like they're supposed to be. And this is where, you know, we come back to the beginning, and it's just like, you know, how are you this stupid? How are you presented with the Jewish fairy tale, knowing that Jesus was a Jew and that all the main characters in the Bible are Jewish, and you think that that's a Christian book? Like, it's just wild. Obviously, you don't know it. I think that's key to the Bible, is that most people that claim to be Christians don't know what the fuck it says. They stopped reading it at some point because it started getting all shaky. They started asking too many questions, and they were like, you know what, I'm just going to have faith. All right, look at him saying, okay, God bless, and then going back, calling you a clown. Right, it's just what they do. Like, there's nothing, it's all the same. Like, nothing this person is saying is new. And just like always, instead of the Christian being like, here, let me explain to you what you're missing, what you're misunderstanding. Let me tell you the secret. Let me tell you why I believe the way I do. They just get all defensive and start acting like children who, you know, you're telling them their superhero isn't real. And they know the superhero isn't real, but they want to believe it is. There you go, the true face. The only Savior. The devil's. The devil's dumb. It's just dumb. It's embarrassing stupidity. Ask any single Christian, why are you Christian? Why? What have you seen, heard, experienced that has made you think Islam is absolutely wrong? Those Mormons are crazy. The Scientologists, they're stupid. Episcopalians are fucking wrong. The Protestants are wrong. The Lutherans are wrong. The in Africa that you don't even know exists is wrong. All Native American stuff is wrong. All the African stuff is wrong. All the Asian stuff is wrong. Your Christianity is right. What makes you think that way? I have seen a demon. I'm sure you have. Yep. And because you believe you've seen a demon, that means Christianity is true. Because you saw something you couldn't quite explain, somehow that means Christianity is true. Or did the demon appear and you grabbed your cross and you were like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And they were like the demons always do. The devil's about, oh shit. Oh, you were driving. Oh, well. We know that when you're driving, you see everything clearly. I was driving, and it was at night, and it was foggy out, and I was on the freeway. I was going really fast, and it was raining and foggy, and it was a snowstorm, and the sun was in my eyes. And I was driving, and way off in the distance, I saw a demon. I did, and it was like, rawr. So stupid. Aren't there stories online where demons laugh at the people calling on Jesus' name? There are stories for everything. Everything. And I was baked. I was fucking high on coke and drunk when it happened. But I saw it. I saw the demon. Said there is no Dana, there is only Zool. And then it jumped and fucking turned into a monkey dog. I have eyewitnesses. I don't care what you have to say. You are stupid. I am trying to help you, brother. You need a real friend. 2 people saw it. Oh, well, fucking A. I believe you. Because you say it. I have 0 people watching me right now, by the way. That's what YouTube says. It's crazy the world is so bewildering. Look, I've seen entities on magic mushrooms, but I ain't calling on no Jesus. I mean, it's a joke. It's just a silly fucking, it's embarrassing that people will say these things. And it just is what it is, man. The arrogance it takes to believe that the demon presented itself to you. And the 2 other people that you swear saw it too. As you were driving. It's weird, man. It's shape-shifted from a dog on 4 legs to a humanoid. It's a dark shadow and 2 legs, humanoid, 8 foot tall. Run out the cornfield across the road. My buddy swears it was an alien, but IDK what it was. I know what I saw. I live in Ontario. Okay. What does that have to do with anything? At the end of the day, you have no idea what you saw. And literally none of that has to do with Christianity. I mean, that's the thing. That's what people never seem to understand is like, what does that have to do with any of it? How does that have to do with Exodus not being real? gave off a presence of evil. It was running from me. Okay. I mean, again, why? Why was it scared of you? If it was 8-foot tall monster, why didn't it just fuck you up? Take you back to the netherworld and feast on your entrails like spaghetti. It's always interesting how people, like, what are we talking about here? There's things in this world we don't know about. I'm sure there are. I don't deny that at all. On mushrooms, I saw the same entity on 2 different occasions with my eyes wide open, and I laughed at it, and it seemed to get pissed off and even more angry with me. I scared a demon. Or a scared demon. Yes, scared of... Okay. So, just the word Jesus, because, and it's not even like Jesus was his name. Jesus is like, our modern day English translation. But I guess the demons, if they're demons in the United States, they speak English. If they're demons in France, they speak French. Right? No, not the word, it's the relationship. Oh, he's scared of your relationship with Jesus. Gotcha. Because now you have a relationship with Jesus too. You're seeing, 8-foot tall dogmen, creatures, and you have a relationship with Jesus. How's that work? Jesus Christos. Zactos. Dominos. Rage bait, man. I'll talk to you later. Hope you're in a better mood, see? Cowards, man. They always do this. Now I'm rage baiting you because you're mad at the fact that I don't believe your nonsense. That makes me rage baiting you. And that gives you your excuse to run away. You're rage baiting me, so I'm leaving. Asking me questions. You're supposed to just be like, wow, that's so cool, man. Tell me more. I believe you. I'm rage baiting. I'm not mad. Then how am I rage baiting you if you're not mad? You're not this dumb, are you? Every Christian has to have a relationship for Jesus to work. It's okay. You can believe what you want. You're right, I can. You never seen anything weird. Yes, I've seen lots of weird shit. Do I automatically attribute it to a fake story written in supposedly 1611 to make King James feel better? Which I don't believe that either, but do I believe that story? No. No, it's dumb. Have you ever bothered to look into why you're a Christian? Like, do you understand the origins of the narrative, at least according to the narrative that you're given? Rage baiting is a thing now, apparently. When you say stuff people don't like, you're rage baiting them. I'm rage baiting somebody on my feed responding to their nonsense. That makes me a rage baiter. But he's not mad. Don't worry. Oh my God, that bitch. I am going to kick her ass. I thought you said you weren't going to get mad. I'm not mad. I know I could learn more, yes. You don't seem to think you can learn more. You seem to think you know how the universe was created, how all of it exists, and all this other bullshit. And for some reason you say you know Jesus is real and Christianity is real, but you haven't still given that reason yet. Why aren't you given the reason? Tell us why Jesus and Christianity is real. What proof you have that Jesus and Christianity is real and that Islam and all those other things are not? It's a pretty simple question, don't you think? Could actually feel its hatred, anger, and malice towards me. I have also to you, but I continue to laughing because I think, why are you trying to scare me? I'm having a good time. No, I never bring it. I'm just saying that's what has worked for me. Oh, has it? Why won't you answer a simple question? Why does every Christian do everything they can to avoid this question? Other than because there is no answer. And the answer, other than they're super arrogant, but they don't want to acknowledge that answer. What else could it be? Oh shit, I'm about to lose my feed. Oh, chitty chitty bang bang. Oy vega, vega. Oh, I had no idea I was this low. I'm glad I looked. Oy vega. Oy vega. Faith doesn't need proof. On paper, I should be dead. God has saved my life so many times. Oh, here we go with more arrogance. So now, you are way more important than all of those Christian Palestinians that are having bombs dropped on them by